So welcome to all of you. The topic that we have is the chapter number two in the commerce, and the chapter number one we have did about the basic, the human activities, what they are, and the economic and non-economic. We spoke different things in that particular chapter. That chapter was the initial chapter, I would say, the basic foundation of the entire commerce topic, where the topics were about the topics on the different kinds of activities performed, or where the entire the knowledge of business or the whatever we are going to study in later chapters in commerce originated, for example. So now the second first chapter we have read about the economic activities as well, non-economic activities as well. So if you remember that I have told you in there only that if you compare from the economical point of view or from the economy point of view, economy I'm saying. So we see that the economic activities are more important compared to the non-economic activities. Both are important. I won't make any contradicting statement. Both are important. But from the economical point of view, the economic activities are more important. Why? Because they are the basis for development. They give the option to create wealth and increase wealth, for example, earn profit, which profit and wealth is required to attain other kind of needs. Sometimes, for example, non-economical needs as well. I'll say you want to do charity. So doing charity is what? A kind of non-economic activity. So for doing charity, what you need? Money, na? So if you like lifelong, if you will keep on doing the non-economic activities, so in the end you will left with zero amount of money, and then you will forced to stop the non-economic activity. Why? Because you don't have wealth or money. This in this scenario, the economic activities helps an individual, or for example, or the individuals of an economy to perform all of the kinds of needs. We do economical activity. Remember, let me tell you one thing that why economical activity we want to do, because we want to achieve other kinds of activity as well. If you want to work for an office, you won't earn money, you won't be able to, for example, satisfy your hunger, satisfy your psychological need. The things money is needed now to fulfill those needs. For this reason, the economic activity is very important. Now, coming on to the point, we have discussed the different sub categorization of economic activities as well. The first was the business, second was the profession, third was the employment. So, if I talk about the employment first, employment means a situation where one person is working for another person, and the person who is working who is known as the employee, and the person who is and the employee who is working for other person, that person is known as employer. So employers do hire people to work for them. Now, if I go to the profession, for example, in profession is kind of economic activity because money is involved. From professional activities, we for sure gain wealth and all. But if you say that in profession, if you compare profession with other activities, other economic activities, for example, you see some difference. The people performing professional activities, they need some special trainings. There's some specialized knowledge, for example. They have to be a service motive, for example. They have client, not customer. These are the distinct features that profession do contain in their activity. Now coming to the business, for example, the business is the one single activity which has wider scope, or the you can say wider approach or wider area when compared to the, for example, profession and the employment. Because in an economy, one cannot deny this fact that business is the only thing which generates other kind of economic activities. Business is there, then only accountants are there. If business won't be there in the entire economy, if I remove the business from the picture of the entire economy, where accountants will work? No. Where managers will work? No. Like where lawyers will do the practice, for example, for whom? Well, to the client, for example. I guess nowhere, for example. Doctors, they will be jobless, I guess, because if people won't have money in their hand, how like they will treat the people, for example. So for this reason, you can say that the business is the core, or the basis for all other economic and non-economic activities. Remember, and this business is socially desirable at all because there are many importance, or the many things are there in the business which are important for the economic development. The first feature, you'll say the first importance of business is that it creates utility. If business won't be there, na, we won't be able to buy tea and coffee from the particular place where it is cultivated, for example. People are engaged in the business. That's why you guys like sitting at Jamshedpur, you guys are having tea, which is for cultivated in Assam or Darjeeling, for example. Business is there, then only you guys can order the cell phones and the gadgets, for example, from Mumbai, if just because the business is there. So it is a business which is socially desirable, and from the importance point of view, I'm saying all the economic activities are important. Employment is also important. The profession is also important. Business is also important. But when we see the importance or the you can say intensity of performing the economic activities, I do find that business on the top. So I just need a reply from all of you till now that have you understood what I'm saying till now? Just reply me fast in chat option so I can simply go further and start the topic of today. Let me know. I need a reply from all of you. Do it fast. Only four people have replied. See, you have to record a response in a fast manner. Just do minimize Zoom Teams application, go to chat, open, and post on that. We have the predetermined. So now, I guess now you guys can personally feel that business is more important after this only. That without business, you cannot imagine an economy. Okay, no one will produce the goods, then who will sell? Who will, for example, gain profit? Who will go doctor? So if you see that in villages, for example, they don't go to doctors because they have less money in their hand. So in like in villages, the doctors do earn very less amount of money. They go to urban area or for example in cities. Why? Because city people are more engaged in the business activities or other activities. They have more money in their hand. So with this objective, now let me tell you one thing that in the entire commerce chapter, in the entire commerce subject or discipline, for example, in the entire book, we have 24 chapters as far as I remember. And the first chapter we have completed, which was about the basics of this kind of things. And the other 23 chapters from chapter number 2 onwards till the last chapter is all the chapters deals about or talks about the business only. Okay, so now we are focused in the business only. Profession and employment is not a subject matter from now on in the entire 11 in this chapter in this subject commerce, remember, because again I'm saying the business is more important. So being a commerce student, we'll have to make our base or we'll have to make our mind in business deeply. We have to know the particular business activity deeply because it is the activity which is basis for other activities, which gives birth to other activities, and this is the thing which is socially desirable. Every economy wants to have more business compared to the other economic activities because business generates employment. Rest of whatever beat, we'll discuss the all these things in detail. I have just by discussing these things in the beginning, I just tried to build the base in your mind that what we are going to study about. Remember the topic that we have today is the chapter is the chapter number 2, nature and objectives of business, and in that we'll study two topics today. There's the meaning of business and the characteristics of business. So I won't read the book. I'll simply take the points in the PPT. I have just written the points only, and in that points, based on the points only, I'll try to make you understand. And remember, the learning source should be the first learning source should be your book only, and second, you can simply for discussion, like I'm just using the PPT and all for learning, and for self-study part, the learning source should be your book only, the first one. Now, just moving on to the first topic that we have today is the meaning of business. So remember, if we want to if you want to define a business, you'll get many definitions in the Google, for example, in different books, for example, in your book even, for example. But make sure while defining a particular topic in commerce world, see, scientific world now you people are high school students, so you guys are expected to select the best possible definition of particular topic. The best definition is what? Which contains all the important elements. I won't say all, I'll say all important elements. or particular topic that must contain in the definition. That definition is known as the perfect definition, and you have to use that particular one. Because while writing in board examination as well in next year, the examiner checks that have you included all the basic element of the per definition or not. On that basis, he or she gives you 1.5 or 2, depends upon what you have included in definition only. From now on, start focusing on the definition part, that what elements are there in a particular definition. I just tried to in the definition just highlighting the things to make you people understand that these were the elements which were important in business. I just underlined those things. So let me first read the per definition, then I'll give the reference and I'll make you understand. So first of all, if you read that business is an economic activity, we know that in business, for example, we earn money. Whatever whoever person is doing business, in the end, for example, gains economic profit, or sometimes he gains economic loss even. But possibility of profit is more. Loss is also there. So since this is this activity, the business is done in having one objective in mind of earning profit or increasing wealth. It is an economic activity. The first feature or the first element we get in the business is the economic activity. It is economic activity. Next, in this activity, what we do? We simply transfer, exchange goods and services. I repeat, what we do in that particular activity, we transfer or exchange goods and services. And remember, this transfer is on a regular basis. Two things are there in this particular line: transfer and regularity. So goods and services, sale and purchase, manufacturing, distribution, whatever the activity we have specified over here, they have to be on a regular basis, not once in a moon or once in a month. It has to be daily basis. Okay. For a price is inherent, because all the economic goods, they must have some value. 10,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees, they must have some price. Price does not mean always in monetary terms as well, because when it was barter system, remember, in that particular time, that for example 1 kg one bread may value in terms of the 1 kg, for example lady finger as well. That means the price consideration. In legal language, we say price as consideration. Okay. So whatever the goods business do purchase or do sell, for example, or do manufacture, do distribute, they all contain some price. And in accountancy, remember that price is known as monetary terms. Next, we have the object of earning profit and acquiring wealth, and this acquiring wealth and the object of earning profit is directly coming from that the economic activity. If economic activity is there, then for sure you guys can understand that yes, this will be inherent. For example, that the object will be of earning profit and the acquiring wealth. Remember, okay. Now, what next we have? What next we have in there? This economic activity is to this only, the object of earning profit and acquiring wealth. Now, how they will acquire wealth? Remember, simple, by satisfying the human wants. Whatever the goods the business selling or manufacturing, if by those goods the business cannot satisfy the human wants, then in the long run they cannot earn profit, they cannot acquire wealth. Because if I'm selling a particular commodity, if my customer is not satisfied, then how customer will purchase the goods from me next time? No, they will go some other person. So remember, the satisfaction of want is the most important function of business, and for that, business creates utility. Remember, utility. We have this topic. We have this topic in features as we'll discuss about. So for satisfaction of want, business do create utility, and in the entire process, one element is common. That's the element of risk. That to start the business, in accountancy, if any person wants to start a particular business, he will have to invest some money or some resource in the beginning. So there is no guarantee that after employing some money or investing money, he will get profit in the end. So possibility of getting possibility of getting loss. I'm again saying possibility of getting loss. Remember, is is known as risk. For example, okay. These were the topics that we have discussed in definition part. These were the basic features we have. I've also pointed out these features one by one by marking these things. These six elements are important in case of the business. And while writing definition, you'll have to put these six elements in the definition of business. That business is economic activity in which involves regular transfer of goods and services for a price with an objective of earning profit and acquiring wealth and through satisfaction of human wants with an element of risk, remember. So let me know that have you understood these six elements individually? That what do you mean by economic activity, regular transfer, dealing in goods and services, object of earning profit? Reply me in chat option, go to particular group and reply me yes or no. I can simply go further. Okay. You all reply faster. Forwarded, yes. Okay. Vikas Kumar sending forwarded message. He's not writing. So I guess you people have built up basic knowledge about that one only, the business, what we have to write, what is the particular element. And remember that apart that in this six key points from the definition now, you will get some points similar in the characteristics as well in the next topic. Okay. If you see that now we have second topic, the characteristics of business. Remember, what do you mean by characteristics of particular topic? The characteristics of a particular topic is those things, for example, which makes it separate, which makes it distinct from other topics. You won't find the particular all the features of business and all the features of profession common. They will be different. Okay. This is a feature of every topic in business studies, in commerce, for example, in accountancy, even. You guys will read many features, many things. Remember, while learning features, make sure one thing in mind that these features makes this topic separate or distinct from other topics. Okay. So the first feature of a business is the creation of utility. Just we spoke about that only. That business makes sure that it satisfies the human want, and the human wants are satisfied only if whatever the goods human or customers are consuming, they will have utility. For example, right now I'm not thirsty and I'm not hungry as well. So if someone will give me, for example, food, will I be able to eat it? I guess no, because my stomach is full. I'm not hungry at all. So for time being, uh, that whatever the food is presented before me has don't have utility. Remember, for me, I'm saying because I cannot use as of now. But yes, after 4 or 5 hours, if that food will be available, that food will have, for example, utility for me. So whatever things we use to get our satisfaction done, for example, they all have utility, and this utility is created by the business. For example, you are hungry, you go to Domino's. Domino's is a business, for example. You want laptop, the HP company or Dell company is manufacturing laptop. They are creating utility, for example. You go to school, you want to get knowledge, you go to school. The school is creating utility, for example. You want to buy clothes, for example. You are going market, you are buying the particular clothes, whatever you want. The particular shop is creating utility. So all the businesses, there is a one basic feature in that they do create utility. And yes, these utilities can be of different forms. Okay, we'll discuss in later chapters that what are the different kinds of utility. But remember, this utility, the creation of this utility, is the main function of the business directly. Number two, we have features. So the business does not create utility or utilities in air, for example. They put utility in goods and services. They make goods and services more useful. Tata company brings out the iron from the iron ore, and iron ore is present in the nature. For example, if you want iron or steel, for example, some purpose, you will go to the market, you will buy iron or steel, for example, your job is done. But who is doing the particular job? Who is bringing out the iron or steel from the iron ore? Tata company or some other company? Now, if you need steel and if I'll give you iron ore in your hand, will you able to use that particular iron ore because as you need steel? You cannot, because that iron ore does not have utility as of now, which steel has. So they so by so whatever the goods and services they deal in, the businesses deal in, they all have utility, and by creating utility, they makes goods and services more useful. Remember, okay. This was second feature that all business units, for example, deals in goods and services. They do produce, they do serve, they do sell, and they do buy either goods and services. Goods means that we can see, we can touch, we can sense. For example, we can see and touch. But services are those invisible goods that we cannot see, but we can feel. For example, you go to bank and the banker has done some for you. For example, you can feel, okay, my work has done. That means they have created invisible goods, which is known as service. Remember. So let me know, like, have you understood the goods and services? Services means what? The invisible goods, and goods means what? The physical goods, for example. Let me know in chat option that have you understood not. Reply me fast. The goods are like computer hardware that you can see and touch, and these services are like software that you cannot touch but you can feel. Software is there, that's why we can see the colors on the screen and all. Okay, chalo bye. So we are moving on to next topic, the continuity in dealing. Continuity means what? Regular. We have spoken about previously that whatever dealings means, or whatever the sale and purchase, manufacturing, or the productive activities are done in the business, or it is being done somewhere, and if it is regular, then only it will be called business. If regularity is absent in that particular activity or productive activity, in that particular case, that particular activity will not be known as or termed as business, because this continuity is important. This continuity element is important. It is needed at all in the dealing scenario. Okay. So we have understood earlier in definition as well, regular exchange of goods and services. The same thing coming over here, continuity in dealing scenario. Now what next we have in that, the sale, transfer, exchange. Remember, see, in a business, like many productive activities may be there. The first productive activity you can say manufacture or production, in which we simply transform the goods from input to output. Your mother cooks food for you, for example, chapati and all. That process known as production, you can say. How? Because the form of the flour was different, and the form of that chapati that you get from the process is different. So, production means converting physical inputs into physical outputs by changing their forms in it. The first activity or the that business done. Second, you can see distribution as well, production, distribution. So after selling, after manufacturing those goods, the business does not keep their goods with themselves only. They also distribute among those persons who need it. They sell in the market and all. And this distribution involves two things. First, the sale, transfer, or exchange. In distribution process, we sell the goods for a price. Remember. Now, what we have next in that? Hope you understood that different productive activity may be there. Productivity activity may be there. That we have what? The first, production. The second, we have distribution. And in that distribution step or stage, this sale, transfer, exchange comes in, because the goods they have manufactured or produced, they won't keep with themselves only. They have not produced for themselves. They have produced to gain profit, and until and unless they want to distribute, sale, or transfer, or exchange the goods or the person who need it, they won't be able to gain the profit. So for this reason, the sale, transfer, or exchange the goods, it is done in business only. Second, we have the profit motive. The economic activity we have called earlier this business activity, business. So the profit element will have to be there. A profit element we can, if we remove the profit motive from the business, then we are not doing business. We are doing philanthropy. Remember that, okay, we have an NGO. We are buying goods on for rupees 100 per piece, and we are selling goods for rupees 100 per piece as well. So what is left in my hand? Nothing. So we are doing philanthropy. So over here, remember, the business is not philanthropy activity, it is an economic activity. Remember, also in that profit motive we have to, there has to be a difference between, positive difference, remember, between the selling price and the purchase price. Remember, and this profit further leads a business to acquire wealth or increase their economic wealth. Today I have earned 10,000 rupees as a profit, tomorrow 10,000 as well, the next day 10,000 as well. So the entire net worth or the wealth I have after the end of the third day are 30,000 rupees. So in this way, the more profit I will earn, the more, for example, the resource or the more you can say wealth I will acquire. So business, economic activity, acquisition of wealth, and the earning economic profit is the main feature of economic activity. Since business is a part of economic activity, this feature will be common in business as well. This profit motive. Now, next we have the element of risk. Remember, let me tell you what do you mean by risk in business. In this context, the risk means not getting or not earning profit in the end. Possibility, remember, possibility of not getting or not earning profit in the end means risk. In many books, you will simply read that risk means reward means reward is it taking profit is the reward of taking risk. I repeat, profit is the reward of taking risk. So what is my risk? That we have started some work, for example, there is a possibility that that particular work may not end peacefully or may not yield output same as we want. This possibility is known as risk. Same in business happens that whatever the owner or the businessman you say, be it sole trader, partner, or the joint stock company that will read in future, for starting a particular business, they invest some money. They invest some productive resources in the business process, and there's always a possibility that in the end they may not earn profit, for example. And this possibility of not earning profit is known as risk. And this risk will be inherent, will be inevitable in case of business because business world is uncertain. Whatever the goods you are producing as per your estimation, this may not be, for example, what's say likable or you can say desirable by the consumers. It happens now that many businesses do launch new products, spending so much money, so much advertisement, but after sometimes what they see, the sales is not that much high. So our cost or the expense becomes more, and the income or the profit becomes less. So income I'll say less. In the end, we gain loss. This situation is inherent. This is a fact that this situation will be there at all. This situation is known as element of risk in case of business. Last, we have economic activity. I won't repeat this point because we know that we are doing business, and in that we earn profit. We simply have risk, and the few we did earlier, the creation of utility and the sale transfer of service for a price. That means business is an economic activity. So on this basis, we have simply, for example, discussed about the feature or the natures, which were three on this slide and four, I guess, on that particular slide. Seven features is enough to build a common understanding about the particular business. In a book, seven, eight, or nine features may be given, but remember, a smart student always picks out or chooses out the importance from the all the points now. So what I have done for you people, like from the beginning or for few classes, I'll simply give people the this kind of notes and all in the PPT format. But slowly, gradually, I'll end this part. You'll have to build this talent in you that you guys are now able to simply identify from a particular topic, which is what is important and what is important not, for example. Clear? So out of all the features given in the book, these seven features or six features, for example, they were important compared to their intensity, compared to the priority, for example. So we have discussed these features today in this class only. So now, since we do not have other topics to discuss today, just this topic only. So let me know in chat option that have you understood. If you have understood, reply with yes, and if you know, if you have doubt something, reply with no. If you have understood, reply yes. If you have doubt, reply no. So I'll just call out the names those who have doubt, and we'll talk to them only. Okay, fine. Because I have got the reply, I guess, almost from all the people. So now just do one thing. Just also post that now the question will change. That do you have any cross question? Do you have any cross question from this topic, chapter number 2? If you don't have any cross question, if you're clear, if your vision is clear, your understanding is clear, type no. If you don't have any cross question, just type no. That. Okay, I've got reply from five people. Okay, six. Okay, okay. Fine. Okay, great. So now what we'll do, we'll simply end this meeting because the topic that we have is the one topic because in next classes we'll have to discuss, remember, that one, the objectives of business. In that objective is a long topic we have. In that we have economical objective, we have social objective, we have human objective, we have national objectives. So in the next class we'll discuss these objectives only because we'll have to understand that why a particular entrepreneur or particular businessman starts a particular activity called business, and what could be the objective, purpose, or motive behind performing the business activity. So these objectives may be categorized between economical, between social, and between, for example, a human and national objectives as well. We cannot start this topic in breakage. We'll have to cover this topic in a single class to make the understanding clear. Otherwise, we will have difference because we'll have to use more time in covering the previous topics because before understanding previous objectives, no one can understand the further objective precisely. Remember. Now just do one thing, just go to chat option on the WhatsApp and post roll numbers, those who are attending the classes, and I'll simply record the attendance after particular class only. So let me go to the chat option as well. We have Amit, we have Anushka, remember, Abhijit, we have Amit, Anushka, Ayush, Kanishka, Mukesh, Niharika, Piyush, Shranya, Vikash Kumar. So how many people are there? Let me see. 11 people. Okay. So don't post roll number unnecessarily. I've taken the name. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One person is left, I guess. So no issues, just post roll number and we'll have the class tomorrow if we have commerce, and whenever we have next class of commerce, we'll discuss the next topics of this business, this chapter number 2 only, which is I guess the objectives of business only. So bye to all of you as of now. We'll see you next class only. And after the particular class, I'll simply upload the video. Those who have missed or those who want to revise, remember, they can simply revise and they can simply see the video on YouTube as well by using the link. I've also posted a link yesterday as well. I will post the link today as well. So you guys can revise the topic in a good way. So bye to all of you. See you in the next class only. Whatever we have today, just come in that only. Okay. So bye to all of you. Take care. हक गए रे